Yeah.
Hi, this is Tom Blodgett from Jende Industries, and today I'm going to sharpen a ceramic Nakiri knife using the Jende Diamond films and the Jende JIGS for knives. This is going to be a little bit different than our last ceramic video where we sharpened a knife using, with chips and everything. This has some minor chips, it's just kind of dull. But what we're going to do, I'll put a link to that other video here. But what we're going to do this time is I'm going to take you through more of a microscopic progression using the different grits. So we'll start with the first picture, which is a before picture. You can see in the before picture here that the edge is really kind of small. It's really, really narrow, probably a higher angle, not sure. And the edge is slightly chipped. You can see in the middle there, it's a little bit chipped, a little toothy. It's not something that was like a big chip that we noticed in the other one, which is visual. This one is more microscopic. Again, you wouldn't really feel it, but it's broken. So it's just time to fix. Now we're going to clamp the knife and begin our progression. So I've moved my clamps here. I'll put another video of how to clamp stuff. But what I'm doing here is I'm opening my clamps on the jigs because I want to take this out and take a microscope picture each time I go. So what I'm going to do is I've got my left side here. I'm going to put that right flush with the handle. So that'll be there. And then you can see on the lines on here that I'm going to go about 5 mils in. So I'm going to tighten down there. So I'll be in the same spot every time that I take it out and check for 20 degrees then, what we did last time. 20 degrees seemed to work for the other knife, same company, probably still 20 degrees. So I don't think we need to go 80 because that film is tired from the last video. We're going to go with 60 micron first and start with that. 20 degrees, so we'll get started. And so again, I use water with my film. So this is the same films I used last time on the other knife, so I haven't changed them yet. So we still got some life left in them. So see how this goes. And the same process, we'll just run through real quick here. Start with some scrubbing. Okay, I'm getting some play here in the knife. See this? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to reclamp back further, and that should, I got too little grip basically, so that solves all the problems. Okay, so I've reclamped the knife. I've gone all the way in because there's enough width on this that I'm not worried about hitting the clamps or bottoming out at 20 degrees. So we'll just remeasure and go. Okay, 20, there it is, boom. All right, so we're recalibrated, we'll do the same thing. So some water and scrubbing to start. Okay, you see here on the surface of the knife, there's this milky white substance. This is the ceramic. It's actually white. When they cook it, it turns black. I don't know how that works, but so this is really just the ceramic material itself is white. So that's how you know your indicator that something's actually working. Again, there's not going to be a burr. You're just going to have to kind of feel along the way to see if it feels toothy or not, or cut some paper or check with a loop or something like that. So it's really the only way to check. Again, I instinctively still check, but okay, like I did in the other video, because things needed to be done, about just getting the shape down, not just scrubbing anymore. I'm going to turn into that circle for just more aggression and that crisscrossing, and then you can reverse your circles. This is more aggressive approach to sharpening. Now ceramic, it really comes in handy because they're just tough. So circles, and then you can do your scrubbing, sweeping in one direction, you can sweep into the other direction, crisscrossing. You will need to clean it up later, but it's a fast way to get some action done. All right, let's skip ahead. So you can see from the picture here that we've taken all those circles and crisscross scratches, and you can see just how kind of rough that edge really looks. It looks all beat up. So this is the crisscrossing, the circles, and the scratches that the edge has. And we're going to clean that up now because we've done all the work. You can see we're at the edge. We're going to reclamp the knife now in between because I have to take it out for the microscope. So what I've done is I've taken some painter's tape and just kind of put a reference mark. So I know I'm going all the way in on this, so it's easy, but I just want to make sure I'm not too far left or right. Not really going to change much, but I just want consistency. So A little something. That was 60 micron. Now we're going to go out to the 45 micron. This is just going to be scrubbing and sweeping to clean that up. Good. Now we're just going to scrub and sweep. Okay, so what we're going to do now is I'm going to take it out, look under the scope. I've only done scrubbing strokes on this, so I want to see how that cleans up, and we'll see the scratch change. Then on the next grit, we'll start adding some sweeping in. So, all right, so after the 45 micron, you can see the scratches have changed direction. They're going vertically and slightly askew to the right now. You don't see any going to the left. It's still a little bit rough at the edge. That's because we're crisscrossing still with the scrub stroke. So now we're going to come in and do some more scrubbing and then a bunch of sweeping, and then we should see these scratches pretty much start to line up. So I've got 30 micron here, ready to go, and we're going to scrub first, then we're going to sweep. All right, I'm going to switch over to sweeping now because we have the angle. We know we're there. Now we just got to establish the scratches. So again, I'm not going laterally, I'm going askew. If you have to take two, you can take half and work your way up this way, but basically I'm staying in the same line. So you can see on this picture that the scratches are now all in one direction going askew to the right there. 15 micron. So the 15 micron is now 1000 grit, so now we're getting to an edge that we can use. Again, this will still cut, it's rough, but it's not terrible. So now we're going to do a little bit of scrubbing and more sweeping than anything. Scrubby sweepy. Long sweeps. On the 15 micron here, you can see that it's getting a little tricky to see. So everything is lining up well. The edge of the edge is starting to straighten out. But we're starting to get some reflection because it is getting somewhat polished because of the consistency of it. So now we're going to switch it to 200x. So this is just much closer, so it's 10 times closer, and you can see more detail here. So the scratches are all very nicely even. The edge is relatively consistent, and this is an okay cutting edge. It will cut if you put some lateral motion on things. All right, 20 degrees. We are now at the 9 micron. Don't need to scrub as much. I think we're just going to do more of the aggressive kind of the long sweeps, and then we'll just do a series of a pyramid to get everything nice and lined up. Because now we're just coloring in the lines. We've done all that work. So you can see the 9 micron here under the scope is way cleaner. This is very good to go. This is sharp enough for the average kitchen applications. You know, it's going to cut. It's going to hold up. It's very clean. You can see everything's nice and neat. It is a sawtooth-like edge. That's how ceramics kind of work. But it is thin enough and it will cut in most applications here. All right, 6 micron, ready to go. So here I'm just going to do more of the longer sweepings. I'm going to do more of a pyramid. That was 20 strokes. I'm going to do 20 more. And then I'll just step it down by 5s. It's almost, I mean, it's basically push cutting. It's a very basic push cut, but nice and clean slice too. So let's check it out under the scope. So you see here under the scope, what I've done is I've gotten the edge into a position that is sort of a negative lighting. So it's so bright. It's actually a mirror right now, 6 micron. And you're seeing that's what the black and white is. It's sort of a cancellation of color. So you're seeing these little scratches here diagonally again. And you're looking at the very bottom, you can see some slight feathering. This is again indicative of a very brittle edge. Harder steels tend to feather out at the bottom there. So this is definitely sharp enough. It will shave some hair. It's a little bit rough. It's got toothy edge, but you can see that it's becoming very polished and very bright, and it is sharp. Okay. 3 micron. So on the 3 micron here, we're just gonna bring it over to that high polish stage. You want to make sure you get enough strokes in there because you can't really tell by a burr indicator, but we know that we're sharp, so all we got to do is keep coloring in. So doing a pyramid of sorts will allow you to make sure that you approach it evenly without going over. The 3 micron here is super clean, very smooth. Look at that edge, it's very crisp and clean. That is sharp. A little bit of feathering again, as is to be expected with ceramics. But this is the kind of edge you want it to look like at 3 micron. All right, to test out, we've got some 2 mil thick of our leather. So, yeah. Woohoo! Slice through, chop down. Fairly easy. I'm not really pushing, I'm just letting it slice. So it just goes. Chop it up. Yeah.